As we wind down a year that really, let's be honest guys, no one could have predicted it would have played out the way it did, it seems one thing has remained consistent year in and year out, and likely will until the end of time. Influencers' apologies. Year after year, we see the internet celebrities take over, reaching new heights, only to be exposed by a former friend, coworker, lover, who knows. Other times they do things that cross the line and expose themselves, only to end up making a teary-eyed apology video on YouTube, which will obviously help grow their brand even more while getting back in the YouTube community's good graces. It seems one thing is for sure, there are always going to be influencer apologies. So we figured, why not wrap the year with some of the best of the worst? Starting us off at number 10, we got Shane Dawson. I mean, this guy really had a rough year, but it seems it was a long time coming. Being someone who has been in the spotlight for so long, it almost seemed inevitable that Shane, along with tons of other YouTubers who were the first to rise to fame using the platform, were going to face some sort of backlash. This year it's happened to tons of creators who some would consider to be pioneers of YouTube. Jenna Marbles and Colleen Ballinger are two of the names that come to mind, and even though people were more accepting of their apologies and feel they shouldn't have been cancelled, it still led to both of them creating videos. As we know, Jenna has since left the platform and isn't expecting to return anytime soon, and although Colleen did address her past, some just weren't willing to move on. Shane's situation is different, as he did some shady stuff this year, and it led to him getting cancelled, which led to his past biting him as well. However, it seems unlike Colleen and Jenna, Shane's past was just adding insult to injury, and after posting his apology, it seems people weren't going to forgive or forget anytime soon. Shane has since appeared to start making somewhat of a comeback, but we'll see how things play out. Number 9, Tana Mongeau. Tana has seen her fair share of controversies over the year, including her jumping on OnlyFans, her fake marriage to Jake Paul, when she was called out for partying during the pandemic and she said she didn't care. Of course, there were also the racist microaggressions and gaslighting she was accused of by old friends. Let's just say this wasn't her first rodeo. And to no surprise, Tana has made tons of apology videos, tweets, posts, and so on. But this time around, it seems people had enough, and they were ready to cancel Tana Mongeau once and for all. So she did what she does best and made an apology video apologizing for her past, as well as always making apology videos. I know, what a joke this has become. And no shade to Tana, I'm sure she's not a bad person, she's just made some mistakes, but like yikes. People accused her apology video of being scripted, and it's easily become one of her most disliked videos, with an almost 3-to-1 dislike to like ratio. This one pissed people off clearly. On to number 8, we got Bella Thorne. You probably know all about the Bella Thorne fiasco, but if you don't, she's pretty much the reason OnlyFans had to change how often they pay their creators, and also put limits on how much their creators can be tipped. And as much as I want to say one person shouldn't be blamed here, I think it's safe to say this all falls on Thorne, who made over $2 million in less than a week after joining the platform. And to no surprise, with hundreds of people paying $200 for just one photo of Thorne, who posts the exact same type of content to her Instagram page, well, they wanted a refund immediately, for good reason. And with that many customers asking for their money back, odds are the company was going to do something to make sure this never happened again. Now those who post on the site need to wait 30 days instead of a week's time to receive their payouts. There's also limits on how much people could charge, as well as a limit on how much someone can get tipped. Which really, like, why would OnlyFans put a limit on that? And what really added insult to injury is that Bella said she jumped on the site for research purposes citing a film. Taking to Twitter, Thorne would kind of apologize, tweeting out, "Remove the stigma behind sex, sex work, and the negativity that surrounds the word sex itself by bringing a mainstream face to it. That's what I was trying to do, to help bring more faces to the site to create more revenue for content creators on this site. I wanted to bring attention to the site. The more people on the site, the more likely of a chance to normalize the stigmas. And in trying to do this, I hurt you. I am a mainstream face, and when you have a voice, a platform, you try to use you in helping others and advocate for something bigger than yourself. Again, in this process, I hurt you, and for that, I am truly sorry." I don't know. Maybe she's not. Maybe she is. You guys gotta let me know. Number 7, we got Jeffree Star. Honestly, guys, I feel like every list that I do that has the word problematic or drama in it, well, it always features Shane, Jeffree, or James. And for good reason. They're the faces of the YouTube beauty community, which is known more for the drama it produces than any content actually related to anything beauty. And as was the case in the summer of 2020, Jeffree decided to post an apology video following suit of pretty much any and every other YouTuber who was going to apologize for something this year. However, as is usually the case with Star, his apology was received with mixed reception, as tons of people felt he didn't address much, and instead was mostly deflecting. Although he did apologize to James Charles, even that was considered to be somewhat half, with Jeffree claiming he's sorry but trying to put the blame on others. Sometimes you gotta just hold yourself accountable. It seems Mr. Star here really has trouble doing that, and has proven this time and time again. At number 6, we got Trisha Paytas. I really try to be as neutral as possible when talking about other creators, and I always do keep in mind that a lot of these people are entertainers and genuinely don't act the way they appear on camera. But there are certain people such as Jake Paul, Jeffree Star, and of course Trisha, who I just feel are exactly how you expect them to be. Maybe it's an act for the camera, but I mean, who would want to play this type of character for so long? It's like playing a villain in a TV show for numerous seasons, but instead it's real life and the seasons are your age. It's just awful. Either way, Trisha has issued dozens of apologies over the course of her career, with the most recent one coming just a few weeks ago after she stormed off of the Frenemies podcast. For those of you unaware, Trisha and Ethan Klein from H3H3 Productions launched a podcast together in which they pretty much just argue and talk about controversial subjects. After mentioning Ethan's wife, Hila, during an episode, Ethan mentioned how Hila didn't want to be talked about and that they should move on. This led to a bit of a blowout and Trisha stormed off the show. Trisha would end up making two videos, one in which she admitted to regret walking off and the things she said, and the other being a response to an H3H3 livestream, which Trisha felt was biased against her. In the second video, Trisha claimed she'd be blocking both Ethan and Hila's number, but she's since returned to the show. So there's that. Halfway now at 5, Gabby DiMartino. One of the more recent situations on our list here, Gabby decided to post a video to her OnlyFans page. Nothing wrong with that. However, the video in question not only led to Gabby having her entire OnlyFans page removed, but she also had to issue an apology. For those of you unaware, Gabby thought selling an old video for $3 with the caption, "Won't put my panties on," would be a good idea. Now normally, I'm sure on OnlyFans that is the way to go about it. The issue here is Gabby's video was from when she was a child, and as you can imagine, people weren't expecting to pay $3 to get a form of child, well, you know. To no surprise, after people realized what they now possessed was technically a Class D felony, and just the situation at hand in general, well, Gabby started facing some serious backlash. She tried to play it off like she was just trying to prank or she was trolling her supporters, but that really didn't fly. Taking to Twitter, DiMartino apologized, writing, "The video was a goofy throwback family moment that I wanted to share with my personal OnlyFans fancy babies. I am sorry this wasn't thought out completely. I apologize. The video is down. I am sorry again if this came out wrong." You bet, it did come out wrong. On to number 4, we got Perez Hilton. After being banned from TikTok, which apparently feels like dying, as the 42-year-old put it, Hilton decided to make a video asking for help from fans and the app's top creators to get his account back. Taken to nearly all of his platforms, including YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, Perez posted a teary-eyed video in which he said, I quote, "The reason that TikTok gave me for permanently banning my account without any warning is multiple community guidelines violations. I'm feeling numb, and I don't want to seem overly dramatic, but I feel like my world is crumbling. This feels like death to me." Throughout the video, he tries to explain his stance on the situation and makes it clear he doesn't think he's ever bullied anyone on the platform, but if he did, he's sorry and it would never happen again. That being said, it seems most people were happy to see him removed, so I'm not sure he'll be back anytime soon. Bringing us to number 3, we got James Charles. You guys remember when I said James, Jeffree, and Shane are pretty much on every list? It seems they just don't learn. However, James's apology was at least more sincere and wasn't related to some shady moves he made in the past. Instead, he was apologizing for something that many felt he was being hypocritical about, taking the pandemic seriously. After James was seen at a party in LA, even during COVID restrictions, he decided to address the backlash he was receiving in the video titled A Day in the Life with James Charles. In the video itself, he posted a statement which included, I quote, "People's safety and keeping COVID-19 contained is far more important than celebrating a friend's birthday, and unsafe partying is not something I want to promote to my audience. I recognize that with my platform comes responsibility, and I encourage you guys to be smarter than I was. Wear your masks and continue to social distance. Love you." I mean, at least he held himself accountable for going to the party. You know, I mean, he was at the Hype House, they had a big party, nobody had to wear masks. And he's one to always be like, wear your mask, stay safe guys, COVID's very real and scary. And then he was doing this and everyone's like, hold on a second, bucko, what are you doing here? And then he was like, you know what, you're right, I'm sorry. So, good for him. On to number 2, we got Charli D'Amelio. Following a video in which the D'Amelios and James Charles were seen having dinner together, courtesy of their personal chef, this 16-year-old TikTok star would make a comment that seemed to upset hundreds of thousands of people. Although Charli's older sister, Dixie, would upset tons of people for spitting out the snail as well as her other comments about the food, it seems Charli's comment about not reaching 100 million followers within a year on TikTok is what stuck the most. And people were pissed. After James joked that 95 million following her wasn't good enough, it seems viewers didn't find her comments as funny. This led to Charli losing 800,000 followers and of course receiving tons of backlash online, to the point that she made a video addressing it all. Fighting back tears, the 16-year-old explained, "Blatantly disrespecting the fact that I'm a human being is not okay. You could hate on me for whatever I've done, but the fact that all of this is happening because of a misunderstanding, I just feel like that's not okay. If this is the community that I put myself in, I don't know if I want to do that anymore. I love every single person that supports and follows me, and I hope you guys know that." Now, where I feel the problem lies is that grown adults felt the need to attack a 16-year-old. Honestly guys, that's the problem. She's still 16. She's got some growing up to do, but the fact that a lot of her supporters turned on her, people allegedly sent her death threats, among other forms of harassment, Well, I mean, look in the mirror. You're the problem here, not her. She did apologize for saying what she said, but she's 16. If I had this platform when I was 16, you guys would hate me. I was such a different person. And then I grew up, and now I'm as great as I am. I'm like a king now. But back then, I was like a prince. Nah, I'm still a douche. At number 1, Zoe Laverne. This was just such a messy and gross situation, but in a nutshell, 19-year-old Zoe apologized for kissing and catching feelings for Connor Joyce, who was 13. Although she denied the grooming allegations made against her, she explained that she became best friends with Connor, and after the kissing video got leaked, she understood why the situation was bad. Taking to both the comments of some of her videos as well as doing a live stream, Zoe explained, I quote, "I didn't groom Connor. I wouldn't do that. He's a kid and I'm aware of that. It just happened. We were both in a dark place when we first became friends and we both just ended up catching feelings for each other. And friends do that. They catch feelings for each other. That's not a bad thing. Yes, the age is a bad thing. Yes, it's wrong. Yes, it's not good. We both realized that and we stopped. Connor as well as Zoe's mother both have addressed the situation as well, and to no surprise we're trying to downplay the severity of it all. Which is wild, because I feel if roles were reversed and it was a 19-year-old guy with a 13-year-old girl, way different situation. Lose their account, cancelled. I know Zoe got cancelled, but it seems like she still has like a lot of support. She's got like 17 million followers on TikTok, which is like, what? But not my place.
Starting off at number 10, we have James Charles. In this one, I'm going to be referring to his first apology video that he made after the whole Tati drama. So after Tati's video started going viral and he started to get tons of hate, James quickly uploaded an apology video to his channel. And the video itself seemed very rushed, as well as his apology seemed pretty half-assed and just like he wanted to end the story instead of actually addressing the things that Tati said in her video. Tons of fans said that nothing about his apology seemed sincere, and the fact that he was in glasses and wearing no makeup was a ploy to try and gain sympathy. But now that everything is truly unfolded and we saw the receipts that James showed in his real response video, we can assume the reason he didn't address anything is because he knew that he wasn't actually the bad guy that she was painting him to be. And at number 9, Jaclyn Hill. After the scandal with her lipsticks, she of course had no choice but to upload a video addressing everything. The video was pretty long, but a lot of fans felt that nothing of value was actually said in the video. In the video, she shuts down accusations that her lipsticks were expired, and says the reason that some of the lipsticks had a strange texture is due to the large sizes of the vats that were used in the production process. She also claimed that the white fuzzy fibers seen on some of the lipsticks are because of the white cotton gloves that were used in quality control at her factory. But fans weren't happy at all about the apology, responding to the video with things like, quote, "When she blamed the climate change, I stopped watching," and "I'm done," and "Your whole attitude is upset and defensive and fast. I don't know what you're paying your PR agent for, LMAO." The video also didn't have a great reaction from the likes to dislikes ratio, with it getting 165,000 dislikes versus 149,000 likes at the time of filming this. Up at number 8, Nikita Dragon. So Nikita got in some hot water after she called someone's kid ugly, if you can believe it. In a tweet, she wrote, quote, "I'm not saying your child is ugly, I'm just saying you'll never have to worry about pedophiles." Girl, what? And after she got a ton of backlash, she decided to address it via Snapchat, which already pissed some people off, like the fact that she couldn't even commit to making a real full video about it. As her apology, she uploaded a vague set of Snapchats, where she says she was a totally different person at 15 and she didn't know what these insensitive things meant. And since there wasn't a real apology in the videos, it was more of a deflection with a ton of excuses. People were not pleased. Up at number 7, Manny MUA. After the whole drama situation that pitted Manny, Nikita, Laura Lee, and Gabriel Zamora against Jeffree Star, everyone in the group decided at one point or another to apologize. Manny's apology was called My Reality Check, and it's one of the few on this list that's actually still up on YouTube. In the video, he takes very little blame for his involvement in the drama, and blames it all on the other people involved. And he kind of plays the victim, which made people's reactions even worse. In the comments, people called him out, saying things like, quote, "He used everyone and he's still playing the victim," and "Manny can't be authentic because he doesn't know what being authentic is." Ouch, they did not hold back. Up at number 6, Gabby Hanna. So Gabby Hanna isn't a beauty guru, but since the apology was regarding beauty, I thought I could include it here anyways. Basically, her and Tana got caught up in a scandal with Kenza Cosmetics. Both the girls had done sponsorship deals for the brand, and after they did, it was discovered that the brand was a scam. The two ladies handled the backlash very differently. Tana came out and addressed the whole thing pretty prematurely and took the blame, while Gabby inserted a half-assed apology into a Get Ready With Me video where she takes almost no blame for promoting the company and instead actually blames her fans for not having common sense about the quality of the brushes. So here she was essentially blaming her fans for listening to her, which of course isn't really a good look and ended up enraging most of her fans. She ended up having to delete that video. Halfway through number 5, Jeffree Star. So during the whole Tati versus James Charles drama, Jeffree inserted himself into it and took Tati's side fully. He went so far as to tweet and show text messages that some thought exposed James for being a just as Tati said he was. He even told fans that he was gonna be making a video where he would address everything and expose James once and for all with receipts. But when that day came, a different type of video was uploaded. Jeffree titled that video, "Never Doing This Again." Video link here. And in the video he tells fans that he is not going to give them the drama that they want. Instead, he's gonna end the whole situation with no receipts. And people thought the timing of this was pretty shady, as this was right around the time when Tati made her apology video, basically backtracking the whole thing. One comment summed it up pretty well, saying, quote, "Tati and Jeffree, he's a bad person. James Charles, showing proof that he is not a bad person. Tati and Jeffree immediately after watching the video, oh my god guys, we're so sorry, we were in a dark place." It's always they were in a dark place, eh? And then another commenter reminded us all that Jeffree even went so low as to call out James's little brother, which was just really messed up, by the way. So here it seemed people were annoyed that he made excuses for getting involved in the whole drama for no reason, but they were somewhat happy he wasn't continuing to the cycle of hate on the platform. Up until now when everything's been resurfaced. Up at number 4, Summer McKeen. Summer got backlash after a video accidentally leaked off her Finsta account showing her and her friend Hannah Maloche mocking fan edits of their videos. And along with this, some other things came out that fans thought was racist. So she uploaded an apology video where she said she was in the darkest place that she had ever been in. And she's thankful for everyone's different perspectives, and she recognizes that she has white privilege. And people somewhat forgave her, although some thought it wasn't very genuine. She got into more backlash after she deleted the video a few weeks after, leaving fans to speculate that she wasn't actually sorry anymore. But she was able to clear that up, saying that she wanted everyone that needed to see the video to see it, but after that she didn't want the negativity on her channel. In at number 3, Jackie Aina. Jackie got in some drama with an influencer named She Is Resting after the influencer made a tweet that Jackie thought was directed at her. Jackie then made a series of tweets and videos back at her to defend herself. And then after the internet felt she was being too hard on this influencer, the influencer later revealed that she wasn't even referring to Jackie in the video. Jackie then made a series of stories to her Snapchat apologizing. But in the apology, she made the mistake of calling her fans heathens, with her saying that, quote, "You heathens are so ungrateful." So after this, fans were mad that she obviously called them heathens. Like what? As I felt it was really disrespectful, which it was. Then she had to make another series of videos apologizing for the term that she used in her apology video. And I think apologizing for a term you used in your apology might actually be a first, honestly. Up at number 2, Tati Westbrook. So after the Tati and James drama came to a head and the world was standing still waiting for a follow-up from either party, Tati released her follow-up video called Why I Did It. And in the video she mainly talks about why she chose to expose James, saying that she regrets doing it now after all the pain that it's caused, and saying that she hopes the world can forgive her mistakes. But the internet wasn't really having it, with many quickly calling out her hypocrisy, as she was telling everyone not to spread hate, but her hating on James is what caused this whole mess. One person commented, quote, "She almost destroyed her friend's career exposing private conversations about his personal life, gained 5 million subs while doing it, and somehow she's now the victim, needs time off, question mark? I think what she did was sickening and I used to like her." And others added that they didn't like that she was playing the victim and backtracking now that public opinion wasn't on her side anymore. She did end up deleting the video, but we're not sure if that's because of the hate or if she just didn't agree with what she said about the situation anymore. We may never know. And finally at number 1, Laura Lee. So this was the apology video memed around the world. Basically, Laura was involved in a racism scandal after she tweeted something really disgusting. She first came back with a Notes app apology on Twitter addressing things, where she blamed the fact that she grew up as a small town girl from Alabama who lacked the cultural education that she has now. But after people weren't totally buying what she was selling, she decided to upload an apology video to YouTube. But in a lot of ways, it just kinda made it worse. In the video, she seemed like she's holding back tears and struggling to talk, and she begs for forgiveness throughout the video. But tons of people weren't buying the apology, and more people called her out for fake crying in the video, including PewDiePie and some other YouTubers that have put her in videos where they ranked the worst YouTube apologies. And since her career hasn't really recovered since the whole scandal, with her sitting at about the same number of subs she was at after her massive drops in sub from the backlash, it seems like this might have been the final nail in the coffin of her career. Starting off at number 10, we got Tana Mojo. So as a former Tana fan, this one is honestly like just so disappointing. I think that's the best word for it. Basically, during the BLM protests that took place about 4 months ago, Tana was called out by 2 black creators, Colin Berry and Simply Nessa, for treating them badly because of their race, along with other microaggressions. And instead of addressing it quickly, she decided to wait about 3 months to address it, all while partying literally every single night. Like, I swear she's been at every single LA party that there's been, during a pandemic to boot. And after her fans were mad and disappointed, she finally uploaded her apology video called A Long Overdue Apology. And it was very appropriately named considering how long it took for her to upload it. But the video itself is very strange and honestly is one of the worst apology videos that I've ever seen. It's very clearly scripted and there are more jump cuts than I have literally ever seen in my life. And with her speaking in a monotone voice and saying words that she has never said before, it's clear that it was not genuine in the slightest, and just something she felt she had to do before she could come back to normal. However, since her fans aren't as dumb as she thinks we are, she addressed some stuff in an Instagram story after, saying she would be uploading more apology videos after the very harsh backlash that she received on that video. But instead of coming out with that second apology video she's promised, it's been about 3 weeks and she's still just back to partying. So honestly, you know, I used to love her, but I hope her career takes like a really big hit after all this. In at number 9, Pokimane. Pokimane got into a huge controversy in the streaming world after she was called out for taking down another YouTuber's video that featured her tweets, as well as making jokes about it after the fact and using the N-word in the past. A few months after the scandal, she decided to come out with an apology called My Overdue Apology. In the apology, she apologizes for censoring creators, but gave context on the situation that she didn't want her old tweets out there anymore. Then she addresses another time she got a video taken down, saying that time was because the person added, quote, really inappropriate, sexual, gross, or just misleading titles. And even though that was justified, it gave her a reputation of taking down videos. She addresses this by saying she doesn't take down transformative content, but since it was just a copy-paste of her video, she felt justified. She then apologized for her use of the N-word, saying she hopes her more recent past with the word can help her viewers know that she's changed. Then there was some controversy about the fact that she's had a boyfriend but never said so online, and she said she just wants to keep those worlds separate, and I personally think there's nothing wrong with that. However, even though she addressed what she needed to and most people did like the video, it still has 183,000 dislikes currently, so clearly not everyone was a fan. And at number 8, Shane Dawson. We've talked about this Shane one a bunch, so I won't go into too much detail, but basically Shane was called out for tons and tons of controversial stuff a few months back, with some of it questioning his involvement in the James Charles by sister scandal, and the rest talking about just gross things that he said or did in the past. And as a response, he first posted a Notes app apology sort of thing, but people hated that, and that got him tons of backlash. Then he uploaded this video called Taking Accountability, where he addresses some of the things but also doesn't address a lot of stuff either. People were mad that a lot of things were left out, while others were just convinced that they were dealing with a wolf in sheep's clothing. But since his apology video was not well received, he hasn't posted on the platform since, and it doesn't look like he's going to be returning anytime soon. And at number 7, Micah Stauffer. Micah and her husband James got into one of the biggest scandals in Family Channel history when they revealed in a video that they were giving away their adopted son from China. And backlash erupted after people felt that the family had used their son for views and money. But now that they got all the content they needed from him, they were done. After all the backlash and uproar, Micah came out on her Instagram with a Notes app apology. In summary, saying that she was naive in adopting her son before she knew she was ready, and she's so sorry she let down the community. And a lot of people didn't accept it. As a result, she hasn't posted on any of her social media accounts since. And at number 6, Jeffree Star. In his most recent apology video, Jeffree Star did what he does best, and that is start a ton of drama, and then when it gets heated, remove himself from it immediately. Classic. But after Shane was getting a ton of heat for being involved in By Sister, and Shane and Jeffree were being painted as the villains of YouTube, Jeffree decided to stay silent for months and let Shane take, literally all the heat. But as things were cooling off is when Jeffree decided to release his apology video, called Doing What's Right. And in the video he basically apologizes for a few things, but mainly distances himself from all the drama, and doesn't reveal any receipts about the infamous voice memo that was getting circulated around that time. It seems like people didn't like the apology because the comments and like ratio are turned off. Halfway through at number 5, Gabby Hanna. So I got some fresh tea for you guys here. Gabby Hanna took a long break from YouTube a few months back because she was involved in too much drama to handle. She very recently came back online, and in her first video she addressed a bunch of stuff and clearly said that she doesn't want to be involved in any drama anymore. However, she almost immediately said she was going to be making a song about Trisha Paytas, which is a terrible idea for someone who says they want to stay out of drama. Especially because Trisha and Gabby have a really bad past, and this is literally the definition of poking the bear. So after tons of backlash and more drama with Trisha, Gabby came out with an apology video. But it was literally just a picture of a notes app on YouTube. In the very long apology, she says that she was wrong for making the song and she shouldn't have brought this up again. However, the release date for her song is September 25th, so I guess we'll have to wait and see if she decides to release the song or not. I mean, hopefully she doesn't because she made that apology, but if she does release the song, then I guess the whole apology is like in void, like it means nothing. And at number 4, Jake Paul. Jake Paul was involved in a massive scandal when him and some friends were caught looting in an Arizona mall during the BLM protests. People were outraged for many reasons, mainly because Jake was filming and it looked like he was trying to profit off the scandal. People also called out the fact that he hadn't been speaking up about the protests, but still tried to exploit them for content. This all prompted Jake to post a Notes app apology to Twitter. In the apology, he said that him nor his friends were involved in the looting, and he was there protesting earlier that day, and then started filming later on when he saw the looting. But people didn't accept this apology, and the replies of the tweet were not pretty, with people calling him a clown as well as calling him out on his privilege. In at number 3, Gabby DiMartino. Gabby recently got involved in a scandal when she posted a TikTok video with her friend, comparing their weekly budgets. And the video is honestly just really cringy and unnecessary, with Gabby revealing that she spends $9,000 a week, while her friend only spends about $50 a week, more normal budget. Then she points out that she's a personal chef for $450 while her friend spends another $50 on groceries. Gabby ended up getting tons of backlash, so she ended up taking the TikTok down and apologized, saying that the budget included all the expenses for her business too, like studio equipment and all her employees. But people didn't really care for the apology and felt the whole thing was just so out of touch, especially since people are struggling right now. Like, not a great time to be bragging that you spend $9 grand a week. And at number 2, Susan Yara. Susan Yara is a massive creator in the skincare space on YouTube, and until a few months ago, she was very well respected too. However, things all changed when it was revealed that she was launching a skincare brand, Naturium. And the issue was from the fact that she was promoting the products for months before she announced it was her brand, with her doing a review on her channel and mentioning it in a slew of other videos, even giving her followers a discount code to use to buy the products. And this isn't only really shady, but also illegal, because she was promoting her own brand to people and speaking really highly about it while no one knew that it was hers, and everyone just assumed it was a great brand that she actually liked, that she was just promoting. After this, she uploaded an apology video, but the reaction wasn't great, with her explaining how she didn't become part of the brand until after she promoted it, but she's still very sorry. As of now, the video was deleted, but the reaction videos that still include her video are not good. And finally, number 1, Tony Lopez. Tony Lopez, who is one of the brothers of the popular TikTok duo, the Lopez brothers, came under fire after it was exposed that Tony did inappropriate things with young girls. And along with other things, he was accused of soliciting inappropriate photos from these girls. When the backlash against him wouldn't stop growing, he decided to apologize on Twitter with a classic Notes app apology. In the apology, he says he's not proud of his past actions and is disappointed in himself, then saying he's new to LA and he learned that he can't believe everything that he's told, and once he realized the truth, he stopped. Then saying he'll do his best to learn from his actions, but people were incredibly unhappy with his vague apology, with him not taking responsibility for what he actually did wrong. With YouTuber Chris Clemens clapping back at the apology, saying, quote, "What are you apologizing for? Why is the reason for this unclear Notes app apology wrong? If you want to educate and hold accountability, clearly say what you did and why it's wrong." Which, I mean, I think we all completely agree with. And it doesn't look like he's addressed that backlash and is probably just waiting for this all to blow over.